Join us aboard Molly for our biggest adventure yet, a 120-mile crossing from Alderney to Falmouth. We'll thread our way through the busy shipping lane off Casquets, share the blue channel with a playful pod of dolphins, and keep watch in shift through the long night. It's our longest passage so far, with stunning water and plenty of surprises. Settle in and sail with us across the English Channel. We're leaving Alderney now, en route for Falmouth. What do we think about Alderney?
Nice, done it in 2 days.
Yeah, worth a visit?
Worth a visit, not too long though.
Not too long though. We had several rolly nights. Even when the harbour appears to be sheltered from the wind, there's still a lot of groundswell. But it's a nice place to go. Well, I think going out around the island gave us a better perspective of the place. About a 26-hour passage ahead of us now. The long harbour wall of Braye. Off the end of that are the underwater remains of an extension to that wall, which has to be avoided. And we've got the swinge between the island of Alderney and the island of Braye. The tide is currently running down away from us, down through that gap, and we're making a course so that we avoid that thing. We pass outside the islands and we're heading just north of west towards the TSS at the channel entrance so that we can get through all of the traffic there. Pretty light winds today, starting in the north, which is good because that's helping us to travel west, but already we're being headed to bear away. We're just basically making northwest towards the shipping TSS, so we can cross that. Breakfast time on the good ship Molly. Fruit nut for Nicky. Crunchy nut cornflakes for Braye. Just passing the Casquets lighthouse. It's about 2.5 miles away. It's our closest point of approach. And sinking Alderney towards the horizon. Nicky has very kindly offered to cook us lunch. 1 o'clock now. What are we having, Nicky?
Bacon roll.
Bacon roll.
We'll do that one again.
Bacon. Should we do it again? Okay. What's for lunch, Nikki?
Bacon baguettes.
Bacon baguettes. Fantastic. Because we're near to France. They're not rolls, they're baguettes.
The baguettes. Okay.
Oh,
Bacon
yummy.
rolls.
Thank you, Nikki. Traffic separation schemes, TSS, organise vessel movements in busy waters, reducing collision risk by separating opposing traffic streams. Like maritime motorways, they feature opposing lanes with separation zones to keep the streams apart. Any vessels crossing these separation schemes must do so at right angles, maintain a sharp lookout and minimise their time in the lane. Careful passage planning and constant vigilance are vital to ensure safety and legal compliance. For relatively slow-moving yachts crossing fast-moving shipping, this can be a bit of a challenge. We're a couple of miles from the edge of the TSS, and we're just going along the edge of it really, so that we keep the option of not passing across the shipping within the TSS, because it looks like there's a bit of a gap coming up. So there's quite a cluster of ships coming through and then quite a large gap, and given that we're expecting the wind to become less in our favour later on, swing round towards the west, it'd be nice to continue sailing for as long as we've got a favourable breeze. We're running along the edge of the eastbound TSS lane. You can clearly see all the ships now, and we're just looking for a gap to go through. Actually, we may well pass across this traffic outside of the TSS.
Are they coming back?
We've arrived at the traffic separation zone, the TSS, and this boat, the yacht you can see there, Promise 3, has been with us since Alderney, and he has navigated very accurately to not touch the TSS, whereas we've clipped the purple area at the edge, and the cargo vessel you can see behind him, that we're going to pass quite close behind their stern, and there's a gap, and then there are a bunch of ships behind that which we're going to pass hopefully well in front of, but just to be on the safe side we're going to increase speed so that we get through. The cargo ship Philia is getting closer to us, and the closest point of approach now is about 8 minutes away. It will be quite close behind his stern. I think that we will need to make a turn so we give a bigger clearance. The problem is that the ships behind him, we've not got a very big gap to get through. Let's see.
So we'll pass in front of this one.
That's right. So Promise suddenly slowed down, which gave us pause for thought, but we think we're past, or we're definitely past this one here, but the two that are in question are the two large ships over there. The one on the left is going much slower and the one on the right is doing almost 20 knots. So by adjusting our speed, I think we've got a closest point of approach of more than half a mile on both of those ships over there. We'll pass in front of one and behind the other, I believe. this one, and then we've got 2 more to contend with, and we think that the one on the left will get well in front of, but the one on the right there in the middle now is a bit close, so we'll have to alter course to avoid that. We'll pass behind this one as planned, so that's all looking good. We've just got these 2 now. I'm going to pass in front of the one on the left, and probably behind the one on the left. Maybe the course change to do that. I think this is the last one. We're past this, we're past all of the east going traffic.
Channel 06 please. 06.
We're going to pass comfortably behind this one. These are the last 2 ships in the east going. We've cleared their track nicely. We've learnt an important lesson. When I was planning this trip, I was advised to cross the shipping at the TSS because you know what everyone's doing and you just go across at right angles. The problem with that is that all the traffic concentrates at that point, so the gaps are very, very small between the vessels, some of which are moving extremely fast, and you have to travel at 90 degrees, and it's pretty difficult. Whereas what we've done is near the TSS, the ships are all travelling in the same direction, but we have the discretion to turn and travel off a 90-degree track from their track, and it has enabled us to get through without diverting ourselves overly, and also keeping out of their way to make sure we're not an obstruction to them. And that seems to work quite well, so I'm happy enough with that. We've got another couple of hours and then we will be encountering the west going traffic. That'll be interesting because they're travelling almost parallel to us on a kind of semi-oblique course. This is a night passage and there are 3 of us aboard. We've agreed a system where there are 3 rolls overnight, so a 2-hour watch followed by 2 hours of sleep, and then waking for 2 hours of looking after whoever's on watch, and then in the third 2 hours back. What were the chances, eh? We were sailing lovely and we had to divert because in the middle of all this there's a fisherman going about his business. Anyway, we've changed course, put the sail away, gave him a wide berth. Now we're passing well behind his stern. We're having dinner underway, tea and potato pie which has been in the fridge and then heated up in the oven, now ready for serving to the hungry crew. Here are the hungry crew out here, ready for their dinner.
Ready for dinner.
First night watch. Nick is keeping me company. Started at 8 o'clock. Put 10 litres of fuel in the tank because we were down to half full and don't want to be fueling up when we're tired or it's dark or both. The wind is absolutely on the nose, so the sail is down. Again, we're going to be doing that in the night. Full wind is not forecast to change in that respect, and the sun is just going down. During the night we had a rather frustrating encounter with a fishing vessel. There we were, motoring mid-channel across the black waters and his floodlit boat trawling right in our path. I turned to starboard and he swung the same way. I tried to port, he turned again. Is he playing with us, I thought? Certain he could see us on his AIS. After a wide detour we got past. Only later, near the Cornish coast, when a friend messaged, "Where are you? Your position looks wrong." Then it dawned on me that our AIS unit had stopped transmitting our location. Evidently the fishermen hadn't seen us after all.
What were the chances of this? Sailing across the open sea, 20 miles offshore, and another boat passes us on a reciprocal course, not a quarter of a mile away. Tempus fugit. Start again. 6 o'clock, just got up for my second sleep. So 4 hours sleep last night. Night sailing, it's a little bit like a party. Leaves the boat in a bit of a mess, and everyone's very tired the next day. However, we've managed our objective, which was to beat the bad weather that's coming and get the boat safe into Falmouth. We're 10 miles outside Falmouth now, and it's been a good night. We managed to make our way through the traffic, which was pretty straightforward. There was a few fishing boats whose course is quite hard to predict, and we had to work around them. But other than that, quite an uneventful journey. We've done 120 miles, and we're looking forward to tying up in Falmouth and topping up on some sleep before exploring the town. It's nice to be coming back into Falmouth because, of course, that's where our journey with Molly began. When we picked her up from Rustler's Yard, that was where we first sailed her and then brought her back to the Solent. So it's nice to bring her back. Approaching Falmouth now, just opening up the lighthouse on Zone Point. Different day to yesterday. There's some bad weather coming in, and I think it's going to be really horrible for the next couple of days, so we'll just hunker down. Approaching Falmouth Yacht Haven. We apparently have some space. Let's see. And we're seeing double. Just as we come into the marina, we find another Crabber 26 who very, very helpfully vacates their spot so that we can have it.
Right.